We are battling with overstimulation in today's society. In this episode, I am going to discuss what overstimulation actually is and why it is a threat to our well being.
You are listening to the Sound Therapy Network podcast, where we talk about all things sound healing. This podcast is for practitioners and clients who want to learn more about this magical healing modality.
Welcome to the Sound Therapy Network podcast. I am your host, Niajae, owner of Bliss Wellness Studio in Tampa, Florida, and the creator of Somatic Sound Therapy. We are going to dive into overstimulation. I feel like I talk about this a lot, but I had the thought maybe people don't understand exactly what overstimulation is and why it's impacting our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So I will dive into that in this episode. So first, what is overstimulation? Overstimulation is a state where the brain is overwhelmed by too much sensory input or information, leading to a fight, flight, or freeze response that can manifest in a wide range of physical, emotional, and cognitive symptoms. It can be triggered by external stimuli like bright lights, loud noises, as well as internal factors such as chronic stress or a busy schedule. Common signs include feeling stressed, irritable, anxious, or exhausted, having trouble focusing, and experiencing physical symptoms like racing heart or shaking, or even tension and tightness in the body. This is a societal problem. This is not an individual problem. So, everyday sources of overstimulation include smartphones, smartwatches, notifications, and alerts. EMF, I talk about this all the time. We are taking in an unreal amount of EMF. And even if we turn our Wi Fi routers off, we're still experiencing EMF when we're out and about throughout the day. There's EMF in parks, in large buildings. So it's almost like it's unavoidable unless you go off the grid. If you're in the city, it's unavoidable. So TV screens, social media, constant scrolling, that is overstimulation to our brain. Constant information consumption, so this could be work, a constant amount of emails and notifications and managing large teams, while we also have social media and LinkedIn and all of these different things that we have to tend to. But this is also our society binge watching a whole entire series in one sitting rather than back in the day, we used to watch one episode and wait a full week before we watched a second episode. Now we watch a whole entire series in one sitting. Our brains were not designed to consume as much information as we are. Because we're already overstimulated as it is, when we go into busy environments or there's a lot of traffic or we're in big crowds, that is going to feel threatening to our nervous system that's already in a state of fight, flight, or freeze. So, a lot of times people tend to numb or dissociate if they have to be in traffic, if they have to be in large crowds. But that is still wear and tear on our well being if we're constantly having to dissociate to keep going. And then, lastly, societal expectations and financial demands. Society is demanding right now, the economy, how fast things are moving, how fast technology is advancing. We have to stay on top of things to keep up. So, navigating all of this is definitely contributing to chronic stress, depression, ADHD, overwhelm, brain fog, and burnout. We are moving at an unsustainable pace, and it is impacting our mental, emotional, and physical well being. That's why we see such a rise in autoimmune diseases and cancers. Our nervous systems are stuck in fight, flight, or freeze with constant overstimulation. It's not giving our bodies a chance to repair, our nervous systems a chance to repair and regulate. We also had an increase in sensory sensitivity after the pandemic. So a lot of things changed after the pandemic. Our nervous systems are different, but also how many people actually got sick and how different things impact us now. And even just physical touch, giving someone a hug, if we see someone with a mask, there's so many different things that impact our nervous systems now that weren't issues before the pandemic. So recognizing the nervous systems we have today is not the same as what our nervous systems were 20 years ago. We have to create awareness around this and have self-care routines that help our nervous system combat the overstimulation so our nervous systems are repairing and regulating. And I think that there's a lot of wellness and self-care tips that say slow down, clear your mind, relax. But the reality is, sometimes people can't slow down. Sometimes people have to work. Sometimes people have to survive. And so, if we're not able to slow down, what are some things that we can do to help us combat the overstimulation? I say in almost every episode, 8 in 10 people are operating in burnout, and our society is just in autopilot, hustle, grind, go, go, go. Honestly, these days, that's what's required for us to be able to keep up in this day and age. My goal is to help my clients regulate their nervous systems before it turns into illness and train practitioners to really understand the nervous system so they can help their clients regulate their nervous system before it turns to illness. Overstimulation affects how we process information, emotional regulation, trauma responses, and anxiety levels. This leads to poor sleep, brain fog, gut issues, depression, and lack of motivation. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that I have been conducting research and test studies on sound therapy and our nervous systems at my wellness studio, but I want to explain how I can tell if someone is operating in burnout. So at my studio, we conduct wellness scans using the BioWell. So the BioWell is a device that Joe Dispenza uses to conduct his research. It measures how energy is flowing through the body and through our meridians. And it measures energy in joules. So the same way we measure liquid in ounces, they measure energy in joules. So when someone is overstimulated, their systems, their chakras are on overdrive. The energy is too intense. So our chakras should be between 4 and 6 joules. So if someone's chakras are at a 7.4, that means that chakra is in overdrive. And the way that I like to explain it to my clients, it's like a dimmer light bulb. If you have it at the full wattage the whole entire time, it's going to burn out faster. So we don't want our organs, our systems, or our chakras to be in overdrive, which is what happens when we're overstimulated. We want them to be balancing at a normal level. So when you look at the charts, when everything's normal, it's green. When things are in overdrive, it's yellow. So I'm looking at these charts constantly, and almost every person that comes in for a scan, their charts are yellow. This is research and data that I've collected over the years to see that people are overstimulated. And with this information, I started adjusting how I facilitate my sound baths, because when someone's system is already in overdrive, loud noises, too many noises, intensity, these are things that are going to impact the nervous system differently rather than if everything was operating normally. So what I see is we have to be mindful of how we facilitate sessions to not add to the overstimulation that society's already struggling with. Because if we do, we're actually causing harm unintentionally to our clients if their nervous system is already in overdrive. And the thing is, sometimes clients have awareness around it and sometimes they don't because they're used to just numbing or dissociating. If you're a client listening to this, you know that your nervous system is overstimulated if you have a lot of anxiety, if you don't sleep well, if you're having issues with digestion, different gut issues, losing your hair, uncontrollable weight gain or weight loss, or frequently getting sick. So these are indications that your nervous system is stuck in fight, flight, or freeze. You are either approaching burnout or you're already operating in burnout. If you're able to get into a sound therapy session, a trauma-informed sound therapy session, I highly recommend it because it is something that will help repair and regulate your nervous system. But in addition to that, these are some tips that can help as well. Making sure that you're receiving a solid 8 hours of sleep at night. If you only sleep 4 hours, 6 hours, or you wake up frequently throughout the night, then your body's not receiving the proper rest to actually repair and regulate throughout the night like it should be. Now, a lot of people have issues sleeping solid throughout the night. So if you're someone who keeps your phone on, making sure that your phone is on silent or do not disturb, or have it in a separate room altogether. That's really important so no notifications are going off throughout the night. The notifications are actually a huge issue in today's society. I read an article that talked about how we're so programmed to receive notifications. Even if our phone doesn't go off, we're experiencing phantom notifications. So people are just checking their phones or checking their smartwatches constantly because we're constantly receiving notifications. So we just automatically think that our phone went off. And so sometimes we'll hear a buzz or an alert or think we felt a vibration and we're checking our devices. Our nervous systems are just used to constant notifications. So making sure that you turn your phone off at night. And I know sometimes people have situations where if it's an emergency, you want your phone on. There are a lot of ways to set your phone up on do not disturb, but only allowing certain people to bypass that, something actually important or an emergency. Other than that, making sure that we are receiving quality sleep is important. Setting those boundaries for self-care because society is struggling with burnout. I also recommend wearing an eye mask or having blackout curtains to prevent any light. Light is something that can trigger overstimulation and also wake you up if you're trying to sleep and the sun is coming up. So I definitely recommend that. And if you are someone where your brain just cannot shut off at night, having some type of sleep meditation or healing frequencies that you can listen to that will help calm the mental chatter. And we're going 180 miles per hour, so that mental chatter is very common. None of this is meant to create any shame or saying you're doing something wrong. This is a societal problem that we're facing. This is everyone. So knowing that this is a societal problem, but we are responsible for taking action to combat the hustle culture that we live in. And society will program you to go, go, go. And then when you get sick, put you on medication that you have to be on for the rest of your life. And we don't want that. So if we can get to it before it turns to complete burnout, where your body's shutting down, before it turns into an autoimmune disease, before it turns into cancer, that's best. If you are someone that has been navigating health issues, this is even more important to you. So knowing that quality sleep is important, it helps our bodies repair. Another thing I recommend is making sure that your Wi-Fi router is not in your bedroom. If your Wi-Fi router is in your bedroom, you are being blasted with EMF. Honestly, if you have a small place, it being in your home anywhere, you're probably being blasted with EMF. So what I recommend is turning it off at night when you go to sleep. So this will impact not having internet while you're asleep, but your sleep. You don't really need internet while you're sleeping, and this will improve your quality of sleep. Next, I recommend integrating no screen time in your schedule. This is going to be really hard for some people, but it's really important. No cell phones, no smartwatches, put them away, even if it's for a small period of time. I remember I used to do this on Sundays. I started out with just a couple of hours, and then I went to 4 hours, and then I did a whole day on Sunday, no devices. When I felt like my nervous system was on edge, this was something that helped repair and regulate my nervous system. So being away from the constant notifications, the emails, and just go, 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 it allowed my brain to relax. It allowed my nervous system to relax. And if you're someone who is on edge, this would be a really good practice for you. And it doesn't have to be forever, just until you're feeling better in your body, feeling better in your nervous system. I also want to say our nervous systems don't regulate and then they're regulated forever. It's a continuous practice. So we can repair and regulate our nervous system, and then something happen in life that triggers us all over again. But the more consistency you have in your self-care, the faster your nervous system can bounce back if something is triggering it. So I'm in a place now where my nervous system feels pretty grounded and regulated, but I still have continuous practices that I do. I don't have to take a whole Sunday off now, but what I do every single morning before I get on my phone is I take a walk. So one, being out in nature is grounding. Two, it helps me ground into my own energy before I get on my phone, start checking emails, get on social media, and then I'm reactive to everything. And then three, it allows me to move my body, so I'm getting some energy flowing through my systems before I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling and checking emails and pulled in a bunch of different directions. So every morning I do this. And when we integrate little things into our routine to ground ourselves, to regulate and repair our nervous systems, then it makes it easier to navigate any challenges or triggers. So giving our nervous systems a break, or putting ourselves in situations that are soothing to our nervous systems rather than zapping it. So checking into our nervous system before we do anything that's intense or increases adrenaline. So if you are overstimulated, doing things that will zap your nervous system will actually be harmful. This is why I'm anti cold plunges, because it zaps the nervous system. But other things like loud clubs, intense traffic, busy areas, even violent TV, watching something violent on TV that's going to increase your heart rate, it's probably not a good idea if you are overstimulated. Or roller coasters, maybe not the best time to go on a roller coaster or go to an amusement park if you are overstimulated. We want to gravitate towards things that are relaxing, calming, gentle, soothing, nurturing activities to help our nervous systems repair and regulate when most of society is operating in burnout. Most of society's nervous systems are on edge. This is shown by the numbers. This is not theory. This is not my opinion. This is science, data, and lived studio experience. Now, for practitioners, this is also really important, because how we facilitate our sound baths will determine if it's actually repairing and regulating the nervous system, or if it's adding to the overstimulation, which will cause more harm. So a lot of people have shared with me they went to a sound bath that was so loud or so chaotic, they left with their nerves rattled, or it was jarring to their nervous system. That should never be the case. Never, ever, ever be the case. It's counterproductive and it is harmful because of the state of our nervous systems these days. Sound baths can add to overstimulation by playing too loud, using too many instruments, excessive high pitches. So I talk about this in my trainings. The 6-inch bowls, sometimes the 8-inch bowls, they produce a high pitch, a high tone that will sound like nails on a chalkboard to someone whose nervous system is on edge. So it's really important that we are mindful of this. The mallets that we use, if we use mallets that are too hard or too sharp, and using sounds that mimic alerts, alarms, bells, or dings. And because we are receiving so many notifications, and phantom notifications is an issue these days, anything that resembles a notification will activate the client's nervous system. I actually had a client today. I use a theta chime at the very end of my session, and it was a new client, and she looked up and was like, "Oh, I thought that was my alarm." And it's the end of the session to gently bring them back if they've drifted off into sleep or into a deep meditative state. But using that as awareness. So I see practitioners, or I've experienced practitioners in a sound bath that I attended as a client, use theta chimes, koshi bells, even tingsha bells in the middle of a session. So if these things resemble alerts and the client is relaxing, dropping into a deeper meditative state, and then they hear something that sounds like an alarm, that's going to activate their nervous system. And even if they're not conscious of what's happening or what's going on in their body, it's not keeping them in that relaxed state. It's pulling them out of it. And it could increase heart rate. It could make them go into worry or overwhelm. So, being mindful of the instruments that we're using in sessions and in the middle of sessions, this is why the trauma informed training is so important. And I feel some practitioners think, oh, I'm not working with people with trauma, so I don't need it. Our whole entire society experienced trauma with the pandemic. And then if we're on edge, if our nervous systems are overstimulated, that means any little thing could actually be jarring to the nervous system and be harmful. So it's not about working with clients with trauma, it's about understanding the nervous system, and anything can create a trigger to the nervous system when someone's on edge. And facilitating our sessions with that awareness. In addition to the pandemic, I feel we're going through a deeper collective healing because the wool is being removed from our eyes, where we're seeing how much is happening behind closed doors, how many corrupt systems we have, how women have been abused. So it's almost like we have to treat everyone as if they have experienced trauma, because our society has experienced severe trauma in the last 5 years. Our nervous systems are not the same. So, without practitioners receiving trauma informed training, they run the risk of unintentionally, unknowingly doing harm. And this can induce anxiety rather than reducing it. It can trigger PTSD. And we're realizing a lot of people have complex PTSD. So it's really important for practitioners to go through a trauma informed training. And then causing dissociation, which is also another huge issue in our society. Astral projecting, for example, usually starts as a trauma response, learning how to leave your body. And I know that there's a lot of plant ceremonies and ayahuasca and things like that that are helping people leave their body, so to speak, versus ground into their body, ground into the human experience, and be able to feel safe in their physical body. What happens is, when people go into spaces that are supposed to be healing and safe, and they're re-triggered or re-traumatized, and the session is jarring to the nervous system rather than soothing or regulating, it creates distrust in the healing space. Also, forceful healing, intense healing, that creates performative results and not true healing with lasting results. Lasting results comes from healing at a pace that is safe for the nervous system, creating safety in the body, in the nervous system. And that doesn't happen in one ceremony. That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen in a really intense holotropic breathwork session. A lot of that stuff is damaging to the nervous system and can be harmful to our mental, emotional, and physical health. So it's really important that practitioners have awareness around this, and they have volume awareness. They play the bowls soft, steady, and with intention. And when I say with intention, understanding how to slow down, understanding how to be smooth. What I see on social media all the time is practitioners chime the bowls and then start playing them, specifically the crystal bowls. You don't have to chime the bowls in order to get them to sing, But again, this is why trauma-informed training is so important. And I think that there's just a lack of awareness where people think this is how you play the bowls. You have to hit it first. And I don't say hit because I teach a trauma-informed training, but for people who haven't gone through the training, I say chime instead of hit. But what you'll see is people chime the bowl and then start to sing it. You don't have to do that. That chime is going to be like an alert or notification, which is another ping to the nervous system. And it's contributing to the phantom notifications that are happening. So it's actually better for the nervous system to just sing the bowls. And I want to be clear, a lot of this is referring to if your sessions are geared towards healing and nervous system regulation. If you are a musician or an artist and you're hosting an event that is more for entertainment purposes, completely different situation. But if you are focused on healing the body, regulating and repairing the nervous system, how we play matters. Using less instruments, choosing tones that are soothing instead of shocking, choosing deeper tones, and also being mindful of intensity. So I used to say I hate gongs because it would feel like someone was like beating beating the trauma out of me. I don't want anyone to beat the trauma out of me. I want to feel held. I want to feel like I'm safe and I'm not being forced. And so gongs can be really beautiful when played properly, when played with mindfulness. And that's why I had Ben on talking about gongs. So if you haven't tuned into that podcast episode, definitely check it out. And I remember he said something like, don't beat your gong, because I think some people really want to create that intensity. But if we are operating in burnout or we are overstimulated, that intensity is going to be harmful to a person's nervous system. So a deep tone that is subtle, like a subtle deep tone, should feel soothing and grounding to the nervous system. When clients come into my studio, I always ask them, is this your first sound bath? And they share with me about previous sound baths they've experienced. And I had a client share with me, oh, my last sound bath, they started playing the gongs and it scared the shit out of me. That should never be the case. That should never be the case. I want to say it one more time. That should never be the case. There is harm being done in sound baths that are supposed to be healing. If someone is going into a space for healing, life is hard, life is heavy, I'm on edge, I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed, I'm operating in burnout, but I have to keep going. And I just need a moment to soothe and regulate my nervous system. And then someone plays the gong so loud it scares the shit out of me. I am never going to another sound bath. People come to my sound bath because I stress the nervous system repair and the trauma informed aspect. So they trust me even after they've had bad experiences. But when I tell you how many people share with me they've had bad experiences in other sound baths, it is problematic. It is problematic, which is why I'm so adamant about the trauma informed training. It's teaching practitioners how not to do harm in these sessions. My goal is to create more safety in the healing space. Getting back to my notes, another thing I want to stress to practitioners is mallet selection. So no hard mallets. And I know that the traditional modalities will use the wooden suede mallets when it comes to the Himalayan bowls or Tibetan bowls, but those produce a sharp tone that is jarring to the nervous system. Even though these mallets have been used for a while, we have to be mindful of where we are in today's society and the fact that everyone is overstimulated. So using softer padded or felt tip mallets is best when it comes to the Himalayan bowls. So in the training, I actually talk about mallets and with the Himalayan bowls producing more vibration than sound. even if you cannot hear the Himalayan bowl, that vibration is healing us on a cellular level. So we don't have to produce a loud sound. We want to produce vibration because that vibration is getting in our cells, it's getting in our body to help start repairing and regulating our nervous system. But if you use the wooden suede mallets, that sound is going to jar the nervous system, which is the opposite of what we are trying to achieve. I know I said a lot in this episode. So, to wrap it up, if you are a client listening and you know that your nervous system is on edge, I highly recommend a trauma informed sound bath. It will help you start to repair and regulate your nervous system. And then also implementing those tips, making sure your Wi Fi router is not in your bedroom, implementing no screen time in your schedule, grounding as much as possible. There's so many things that we can shift in our normal everyday life that will help our minds and our bodies start to repair and regulate. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, you can come see me at Bliss. If you're not in the Tampa Bay area and you are searching for a practitioner in your area, definitely look up someone that is trauma informed. And I also have virtual tools through my healing app. You can find more information on that at healthylovehealing.com. I'll have that link in the show notes. And if you are a practitioner that is interested in our trauma informed training or practitioner mentorship, you can go to soundtherapynetwork.com, or you can also email me directly at contact@blisswellnesstampa.com. Share this episode with someone that you know will find value in it. And until next time, wishing you healing and harmony.
Thank you so much for listening to the Sound Therapy Network podcast. Edgar Cayce says, sound is the medicine of the future. The future is now. By listening and sharing this podcast, you are contributing to the wave of healing in the world and safety in the healing space.